track stitch is nothing but rows of single crochet and treble crochet. The combination of short, solid single crochet with the taller treble crochet makes a nice stitch pattern even for beginners. You can work track stitch on any number of stitches. I'm going to make about a 5-inch swatch, so I'll start with about 20 chains. And I'm going to chain fairly loosely here because I'll be working into these chains later. I'm going to begin by working a single crochet in the second chain from my hook. The first chain is this first full chain, not the loop on my hook, but the first full chain. Here is the second chain, and often I'll work into the back bump, but for this one I'm just going to work in the normal spot right here above that lower loop of the chain. And I'm going to work a single crochet into each chain across. When I have finished my first row of single crochet, I should have 19 single crochets because I started with 20 chains and 1 chain was used for my turning chain. That was the chain I skipped when I single crocheted into the second chain from hook. Now I'm going to turn and chain 1. That chain 1 does not count as a stitch. That is just my turning chain to get my hook up to the level to begin the next row, which is another row of single crochets. Now, where do I put my hook for that first row of single crochets? Here is that chain. Remember, I did a chain 1, watch that. Here's my chain 1. I don't work into that, but I do work into the very first stitch. So I go in, yarn over and pull up a loop, and yarn over and pull through 2 to complete my single crochet. Then I will just single crochet in every stitch across, working under both loops of each stitch. When I finish this row, I should have the same number of stitches that I started with. In this case, it's 19. Now it's time to do my treble crochet row. I will turn and chain 4 for my turning chain, which brings my hook up to the level of that treble crochet row. But where do I put my hook for a treble crochet? Well, there's my turning chain, but that turning chain counts as a stitch. So if I put a stitch back into that same spot where the chain comes from, I will gain a stitch. I don't want to do that because this chain 4 is going to count as a stitch. Instead, I'm going to skip the base of that chain and work into the next stitch. To work a treble crochet, I yarn over twice and then insert my hook into the stitch, not this stitch because that's where the chain is coming out of and counts as a stitch, but over 1. Go in, yarn over and pull up a loop, so I have 4 loops on my hook, and then yarn over and pull through 2 3 times to complete my treble crochet. I'll do another treble. Yarn over twice, go in, yarn over and pull up a loop, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops 3 times. That's why it's called a treble crochet in American terminology. I'll do that all the way across my row. At the end of the row, I need to put the last treble crochet into the last stitch, then stop and count and make sure that I still have the same number of stitches. For the next row, I turn, chain 1 because we're going to do a single crochet row, and single crochet into the first stitch and each stitch across. On this row, you need to be careful when you come to the end of the row. Here is my last single crochet into an actual treble. Remember, that chain 4 counted as a stitch, so I have to put a single crochet into the top of my chain 4. I'll put my hook right into the meat of that chain, yarn over and pull up a loop to complete my single crochet. Again, I'll stop and count to make sure that I have the right number of stitches. It's time for another row of single crochet. Chain 1, turn. The first stitch goes into the first single crochet, and then I'll single crochet in each stitch across. At the end of the row, I have completed my setup row and rows 1 through 4. From here on out, I'll just repeat rows 1 through 4, which is another row of single crochet, then a row of treble, then 2 rows of single crochet. So it's a total of 3 rows of single crochet separated by a row of treble.